How's everybody doing out there? This is Duane Fletcher with Fletcher Community Media. Um, I like to do a podcast. Check this out. Some of you may know me by some of the books that I write and I talk about around town and on my podcast on the internet. Fox Hunt talks about how they tried to sell the power company here in town. This is a really good one. Uh, the FBI caught them, put them in jail. They tried to do one of those oligarch moves and sell the power company. It didn't work. They tried it twice. It didn't work either time. Um, I see code name Lionfish. They caught a Chinese spy at the military base. This is a action novel that talks about some of it. It's a really, really good book right here. Code name Lionfish. And Dance of the Mongoose. Dance of the Mongoose. This is also a really good one. Dance of the Mongoose by Duane Fletcher. Um, this is some of my old stuff actually. Let's talk about some of the newer stuff right here. Okay, we got the Nibble Necks. This talks about these twins, two Russian brothers. They were twins. They came to Jacksonville and they started a whole bunch of confusion in the street and stuff like that. It's called the Nibble Necks. This is a really good book right here. Um, let's see. Battle of Flechet, The Arrows. This is one talks about uh, Napoleon fighting against Russia 200 years ago, in contrast to what's going on in Ukraine today. This is a really good book too. It's kind of like Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, except for the Russians are the bad guy in this one. It's a really good book. All right. What else we got here? The Black Hand. The Black Hand. This is the one that's causing all the controversy. The Black Hand. This one talks about a tennis pro. This one talks about a tennis pro that allegedly works as an assassin for the KGB. This is a really good book right here. This is a really good book. And check it out. I got uh part two also. Um The Black Hand Act Two, The Child in the Storm. This is about the same group of people, except for this time they've been trying to infiltrate the military and stuff like that. This is a really good book also. This is Act Two, Black Hand Act Two by Duane Fletcher. This is a really good book too. If y'all get a chance to go over to blurb.com, B-L-U-R-B, blurb.com. Look up the name uh, Duane Fletcher on blurb.com, and you can preview some of the new stuff for free right now because I have it unlocked so that some of the publishers and literary agents can review some of the material. So that they can, they might want to purchase it, maybe give me a book deal or something like that. But those are really good books. Um, as a matter of fact, I have a part three coming out. There's going to be a chapter three coming out. I'm in the process of writing it now. I got a couple of chapters already done, prologue, a couple of chapters already. What I do is I start taking notes on subject matter. I start taking notes on subject matter, and then basically, once I have enough notes compiled, I start to write. And I started writing last weekend. I got a prologue and a bunch of chapters already done. So part three is coming out. Uh, should be done, should be out. So check it out. Blurb.com, Duane Fletcher, blurb.com. So today, first, we're going to get into the stuff that has to do with the election. Okay, first and foremost, let's start talking about the election. Okay, so um let's see. Some of the people here that basically have been like talking about the election and stuff, they have some very interesting output. Like somebody is basically saying that that Trump is basically just giving away the election. That's what they're saying. That's what some people are saying, and it's because of the different things that he's into. They were saying they were. I guess some of them were thinking that he would get sympathy because of the assassination attempt and then stuff like that. But the assassination attempt on his life has not uh, averaged out into votes. Um, he's basically being steamrolled anyway by the Kamala Harris campaign, and I want to congratulate Kamala Harris because we need a woman in the White House right now. It's like uh, the Governor Ventura, Jesse the Body Ventura, was on TV the other night, and he was talking about how they need a woman in the White House right now. So uh, I want to congratulate Kamala Harris, and hopefully she'll win. Hopefully she'll win. Um, like I said before, I told you guys before, I've been through something like this when my aunt who was a doctor at Methodist Medical Center. She became president of Medical Center, and I don't know if y'all know this about this, but this in the South, this prejudiced people in the South, they get offended by black people reading, knowing how to read and write and stuff like that. But my aunt made it anyway. I'm hoping that Camilla Harris will uh make it also. Okay, so check it out. And let me see if I got this. What I'll do is I'll show it to you guys because I can't get enough of this. I like showing it off because it's a very, very memorable moment in Jacksonville. But I'll go ahead and show it again anyway. My aunt, Dr. Fletcher Cone, she became president. That's her mother right there. And that's me sitting in the middle doing some insurance coding and billing. And but Dr. Fletcher Cone, she became president of Methodist Medical Center. And like I said, this is the South, and people are sometimes down here. You get white people that they're offended because black people know how to read and write, and and it gets ridiculous. But if I think if she can make it down here in the South, back in the what 80s, if she could do something like that, accomplish something like that back in the South back in the 80s, um, Camilla Harris can do it now in 2024. So I'm rooting for Camilla Harris. I'm all in on that one. Because this is something that took off. That was just it had a life. It began to have a life of its own. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, you get people out there that try and mess you up, stand in your way and stuff like that. But she was a she was able to transcend it. She was able to transcend it. So shout out to my aunt Gwen. I don't know if she's gonna get wind of this podcast. Maybe I'll send her a copy of it. But shout out to Aunt Gwen, and I'm hoping that the Harris Walsh campaign can accomplish the same thing. All right. So first of all, now um. Trump is losing some of the battleground states. And I don't know if you guys been paying this attention, but I don't know if any of y'all been paying this attention, but the trial in Arizona against Trump has not even started yet, and he's already got two people that have basically flip-flopped on him. Two people that have flip-flopped on him and basically said that they were going to cut a deal with the state that had to do with uh giving testimony against ex-President Trump. So there is two people that's basically there, and they have said two people. Hold on, let me just look it up here. Okay, one person was one of his campaign lawyers. So this is one of his campaign lawyers, Jenna Ellis, and I think they're saying she was charged with a misdemeanor, and this was, they've been handing out felonies like nobody's business, and they say she was charged with a misdemeanor. So that means, you know what that means on the street. She's talking. She done ratted Trump out for whatever happened in Arizona. She done told the whole thing. So, but Miss Ellis, and this was, I think she was saying she was one of Trump's campaign attorneys. And like I said, you don't have to take my word for it. You can look some of this stuff up for yourself. And not only her, but uh, this lady here, let's see, Miss Pellegrino. Miss Pellegrino, basically has also turned everything. I think they charged her with trying to pretend to be a fake elector. Like she was telling everybody it was her job to certify the election in Arizona, and it was not. And I think that's a felony. If you do something like that, I think that's a felony. So she was telling people that she was an elector, but she posed. Ooh, excuse me. She posed as Trump electors, as one of Trump's electors, and she has also cut a deal with the state to testify against the other nine nine names on the list that have been indicted. Now, there's an issue about whether or not they're going to get a grand jury. I think the grand juries are already convened, and now the grand juries may or may not convict him, or no, or may or may not try him. Excuse me, may or may not try him, but the thing is that whatever happened in Arizona is going to be pretty bad. It's probably going to be like New York, where he gets charged with like 34 felonies, and he's charged with 700 years worth of felonies. And when you get charged with a lot of felonies like that, one felony might carry 20 years, one felony might carry 50 years, felony might carry another 20 years, and some people end up with like 500 year sentence that of course they whittle it down to run concurrent, and then of course it's will down to like 5 years, 10 years, something like that, or probation, or whatever they decide. But it's probably going to be pretty bad because two people have already begun to cut deals with the state in Arizona so that they can basically uh dispose of their part of the case. So that's going to be very interesting. So, and like I said, it is what it is, and I'm rooting for. Yeah, this guy, honestly, with you, he's not going to have any time to run the country. He's going to be trying to. No, he said day one he's getting revenge for people that stood in his way and all this kind of stuff, and when he's not arguing with them, whoever they are, he's going to be, you know, he's going to be in court. He's got court case coming up in Georgia, court case coming up in Michigan, possibly, and not is it Michigan? Yeah, Michigan, possibly. He might be being indicted in Michigan, possibly, and he basically, and then he's, of course, like I said, Arizona too. So uh, he's not going to have time to run the country. He's going to be in court arguing with the prosecutors constantly. So I doubt if he's going to have too much time to run the country. So I'm voting for Kamala Harris, and hopefully she can get some things done. I know I'm hoping she'll do something about labor, because I know I'm looking for a job right now. You know what they say. I write books. I write books and everything like that, but um, until I get a book deal, a publishing deal of some sort, what I have to do is basically I have to work a regular job. So I'm looking for a job myself. So let's see. Now let's talk about something else here. Here we go. Now that that's out the way, I want to bring up something that's been a real bad issue here. And oh my goodness, let me find this stuff here. Oh God, it's way over here. It's not in there. It's in the other bag. Hold on, let's see. I gotta bring out the purple file. Oh my goodness. Not the purple file. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me get this stuff. Because I have something that I need to basically show you about what's going on in good old Jacksonville, Florida. They got some foul stuff going on in Jacksonville, Florida. And it's time to talk about it and address the issue and stuff. It's time to talk about and address the issue. Okay. So, let me show you this. What I have here is two police reports. Okay. Oh, it's upside down. Is it? I got two police reports here. Okay, this is some group of people that have been harassing me at the library. Okay, and it's because I believe it's because I may have witnessed someone, one of the security guards at the library, do something that he had no business doing. This was back during the 2016 election, I believe it was. Okay, so and I that's what it may possibly be, that I witnessed this security guard at the library do something wrong during the 2016 election. Okay, that was when Trump beat Hillary Clinton. Okay, now when they want to change the subject, this is what they do. They start attacking me and stuff because they know I know what happened. And I've talked about this, and like some of the Democrats here in Jacksonville have been like whispering about this for some years, uh, basically whispering about it. And I'll tell you partially what it is, because I don't want to reveal it all, because I'm going to end up having to file a lawsuit against the security guards at the library for all this harassment. This is basically where they keep turning the surveillance cameras on and off, and he turns the surveillance cameras on and off, and then somebody broke in my truck, and then he turns the cameras on and off, and then he swears there's no cameras outside, and somebody stole a bike that I had, because the library is not that far. So they stole a bike that I was using to ride back and forth to the library, all this kind of stuff. And this is basically harassment. And every time this happened with the security guards at the library, basically turning the cameras on and off. So because of who one of these security guards was, and I'm not going to say what it is right now, but because of who one of these security guards was, it could have possibly been them turning the cameras on and off so that they could do something to the votes or something like that. It's possibly that's what it was, because that, as far as I knew, the cameras just went on and off, and somebody broke in my truck and they stole all my construction tools. I had a bunch of tools in the truck. They stole the tools out the truck, and but apparently there was something else going on, possibly with the voting machines and stuff like that. Now, um, like I said, when they want to change the subject, here they go. They do all of this kind of crap like this. And so it appeared to me that there were certain people moving to Jacksonville from South Florida to open up business, and so that they could be close to like the voting machines and stuff like that. And one of them ended up on the security. Instead of working for the company he was working for from South Florida, he ended up as a security guard on the security detail that guarded the voting machines in my precinct. Okay. Now, uh, next thing you know, the camera's going on and off, and all this kind of wild stuff like that. So, um, it's possibly that, because there's been like Russians and bragging about helping Trump win the election and stuff like that. Some of this stuff could possibly be what they are talking about, and I want the harassment to stop, because now it's spilled over, because now it's not the security guard anymore. It's not just the security guard at the library that's bothering me right now. It's the Brinks drivers. Now all of a sudden Brinks has to show up to the library every 5 minutes. It's a freaking library. What kind of money are they holding that you need to pick up every 5 minutes? And now all of a sudden Brinks is at the library, and oh Mo, who are you? Who are you? You're in my way. You're in my way. I'm with Brinks, and all this kind of crap. And this is another security guard basically that's clowning, because uh I witnessed them do something wrong as far as turning the cameras on and off, while there's crime being committed, and stuff like that. So, I believe that's what it's about. I believe that's what it's about. I believe that that's the reason why that they have been harassing me, is because I witnessed them turning the cameras on and off, uh, back in the day. Okay, so like I said, that was 2016. So as far as I know, they was just turning the cameras on and off. But now you got Russians bragging about helping Trump. Then you got Trump saying, Russia, get me the files. Russia, get me those files and all this kind of stuff like that, saying it for himself. So possibly it's some kind of payoff that went to the security guards. Possibly. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm saying possibly. That may or may not have been what happened. But they, it's just ridiculous of what they're done, of how they're acting, and it's just a library. You know what I'm saying? And then I had one of the policemen ask me, "Well, why do you go to the library? Why don't you just get your own?" I'm like, "Look, first of all, I need to use the Wi-Fi at the library to fill out job applications and stuff like that. Second of all, it's a public library. It's a public library where you got homeless people in there sleeping and stuff like that, but you won't let a taxpaying citizen go in there and use the Wi-Fi. It makes no sense. And then the security guards harass me instead of telling Tom, Dick, and Harry that's up there asleep, taking up space, and to get out. You know, and so they come and harass me, and I know what, and well, why is that happening? It's happening because of the books that I write and stuff like that. So that's what I believe. Like I said, but some of the Democrats know what I'm talking about, and basically have been whispering about this stuff. Um, and because I've had a couple of conversations about it, and I have many conversations, some downtown at the city council meeting, talking about how they let Tom, Dick, and Harry move into that warehouse with that houses the voting machines. There's been a bunch of talk about that on my podcast and downtown at the city council meeting. So um that being said, so I can document this. It's not just the security guard harassing me now. It's the guy with Brinks. All of a sudden, Brinks needs to. But it's so freaking absurd. What hellified money is at the freaking library? You know, what hellified money is at a library every 5 minutes that they need to pick up, that they need a Brinks car to pick up. No, they don't. It's one of the security guards from the library trying to ask them to bump into me and act like I'm bothering him and shit like that. Uh, who are you? Who are you? What are you doing there? It's a bunch of bullshit, and I don't know if some of y'all have been through this shit before, but it's harassment, and they need to stop it. It's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably the only one of them with a real freaking name. So anyway, that being said, let's talk about some other stuff. All right, Governor DeSantis, our old friend Governor DeSantis has a new theme park. Let's look this up. Our old friend Governor DeSantis has a new theme park, and it's with Disney. He's with Disney World. Somehow, I don't know if y'all said it, y'all check this out, but look it up for yourselves and check into it. Look it up for yourselves, check into it. Hold on. Let's find it here. Let's see. Governor DeSantis has his own new theme park at Disney. Okay, it's called uh Villains Land. Villains Land. Yes, that's what it's called. Villains Land. Villains Land Disney. And it's for the villains of Disney World. Let's see if y'all can see that there, but that's what it's for. It's for the villains of Disney World. It's called Villains Land. And like people are, as you can guess, there are people poking fun at it, but they don't know how bad it really is. That basically he bullied his way onto the board of directors at Disney. So after he bullied his way onto the board of directors at Disney, there was a long drawn out argument between Disney World and Governor DeSantis where he threatened all kind of legal action, and he drugged them to court every 5 minutes, and they have never been through nothing like that. So he drugged them into court every 5 minutes, saying, "You can't do this. You can't have that land. You can't do this to the okay. Well, if you can have land, you can't do this to the land, and you can't build that kind of building. And then some of these other people might want to buy some of this property, and blah 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 blah." And they argued and argued and argued and argued for years. And apparently, Governor DeSantis and his group of investors that he had hidden somewhere under his belt, under his jacket, um, uh, is basically has just bought into Disney. So now there's uh, a new theme park at Disney called Villains Land. It's for all of the villains in the Disney movies. So basically, let me give you a list here. Let's see. Villains of Disney movies. Okay, so you're gonna see Captain Hook hanging around, the smuggler, uh, Gaston, Maleficent, Ursula, Jafar, Scar the Lion, Lady Tremaine from the 101 Dalmatian movie. Let's see, the Evil Queen from Snow White, the Big Bad Wolf. Uh, but basically, it's gonna be like a who's who of villains that have been in the different Disney movies, and they have their own theme park. And I don't know where he got this idea from. I made jokes about it myself a while ago, but it appears that he was telling Disney World that they can't have that property, and you can't have that property, and you can't do this with the property, and blah 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 blah. But now all of a sudden they stopped arguing, and now they're building this new villains theme park, and more than likely it's probably some of his Russian constituents, or maybe some oligarchs that are dodging sanctions, investing in it or something like that. It's possible that that's what it is, because that's what we have here in Florida that a lot of us have been arguing about. Basically, they have Russian oligarchs here that have been dodging sanctions, and this is possibly them. There's probably possibly some of their money which should be going to aid Ukraine or aid the destruction in Ukraine, and instead they're building a villains theme park in Disney World. So it's weird, but there's people on the internet poking fun at them like real bad. So, but it's their money, it's their land, and now they get to use it for something like that, because that's what it was at first. He was telling them that they couldn't use that property, they couldn't use that land, but now they've come to an agreement after some palms have been greased with some apparently some possibly some Russian oil. I'm not saying that's what it is, but it's out there these were some of the arguments that were going on just prior to this backroom deal that they went ahead and that he was complaining about them doing backroom deals, and now it looks like he did one with him himself. So um okay, and that being said, I got one last thing to say here. Congratulations to Team USA basketball. Well, first, I want to congratulate all of the American athletes that participated and won medals and stuff. You guys showed out. Um, I think America had like the America or China or somebody like that had the most medals. America, China, and like France had the most medals. And last time that I checked on it. But the Americans really showed out, and especially I want to a special shout out to the basketball team, because uh, America USA basketball had some. It was not an easy task. It was not a simple easy task at all. They were losing in a lot of the games that were in the semifinals, uh, quarterfinals and semifinals, and then they had these tremendous comeback wins against Serbia. Tremendous comeback wins, and that they played against some of the different people. I think they had to come back on Serbia twice in the preliminaries and in the semifinal. But this was some really good games, and shout out to everybody that's on the team. Um, No, Jason Tatum. Everybody's mad. Everybody's talking about Jason Tatum because he didn't get enough playtime. But Jason Tatum, you were still there, dude, and some of us still really appreciate you the way you in Boston uh took off and beat the Dallas Mavericks. So shout out to Jason Tatum, shout out to Stephen Curry, shout out to Kevin Durant who showed out. Oh my goodness. LeBron James, Anthony Edwards, it's just so many of them that was on the team, but hey, that's what they wanted to start. European had their own league, and they wanted to start playing their professional players, and so we're start bringing our professional players, and we don't want to go 5 years in a row. So, like I said, shout out and congratulations to Team USA. Uh, we love you guys, and that can't wait for the next NBA season to start. Okay, and that's all I had to say today. All right, so check it out. If y'all get a chance to check out some of the books, check out some of my books here. What we got here, Battle of Fletcher, the Arrows, the Nibbleniks, the Black Hand, Part 1, Part 2, the Black Hand, Part 1, Part 2, and soon to be Part 3 coming out. Everything can be found on blurb.com. BLURB, blurb.com, blurb.com, Duane Fletcher, blurb.com. So, everything can be found here on blurb.com. I'm going to show it to you. This is what the website looks like. I don't know if y'all can see that there. Blurb.com, but that's what the website leaves. And if you click preview on here, if you click preview, which is down here, if you click preview, you can read the book for free because it's unlocked so the publishers can check it out, because I want the publishers to check it out too. So it's unlocked. So if you get a chance to check it out on blurb.com, BLURB, Duane Fletcher, blurb.com. All right, y'all have a nice evening. That's it.